Welcome to The Code Construction, Design, Engineering. This is India's #1 construction podcast. Hi, and welcome to The Code. We are at the Arc Build, and I am with architect Krishna Rao Jaisim from Jaisim Fountainhead. Sir, what an interesting name.
Very true.
Happens to be one of my favorite books, by the way.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Very
Is that
good.
the inspiration?
Philosophy. That is the philosophy of my work today.
Yeah.
If you ask me a question, I'd go back to the history of it and how it.
I
came
really
to-
want to. But I don't want to interrupt when you're talking, right? So
Okay. What is the other question you have? You tell me.
I asked you first,
Yes.
which is actually one of my favorite questions to ask to anybody who's a passionate architect. How long has this love of architecture been going on for you?
Okay. Let me go back to my history.
Please do.
Whatever I remember, I will tell.
Please.
I was in the in Madras. I used to study in a very famous school which my father put me on. I found that my brothers were all gold medalists.
Hmm.
They became top people. And it came to they put me in the school. I came to the final year. Then my mother called me and said, "What do you want to do?" I just smiled at her and said, "I don't want to do anything." She said, and only then I realized that her father was His Majesty of Mysore's chief architect.
Wow.
I said, "I didn't know till then." She just smiled and said, "All my 9 other children, 8 of the children have gone, nephews have gone. I want you to do architecture."
Hmm.
There were only 5 schools in India at that time. I said, "I won't get any admission in these schools because I don't care for marks, I don't care for anything." But then she said, "Anyway, go." I literally, my brother had given me a motorcycle. So from PUC, I did at Jain College. I drove to the college for the interview. I didn't want to study there, but it was a School of Architecture and Planning. Then it was called Department of Architecture.
Okay.
There was an interview for students going on. So it's very difficult to get in. "Why are you here?" I said, "My mother sent me here." "How did you come?" I said, "I have a motorcycle." He looked at where. I said, "Out." He said, "I've never seen a motorcycle like this. It is a Triumph Tiger Cub."
Yeah.
That man said, "Can I have a drive in it?" I said, "You have taken bench." He came back. So "You don't have to, you're admitted."
Wow.
I said, "I don't even have marks." No, sir, you don't. Then I didn't understand that it was headed by one of the top architects of Prince and Davis. So he called me and said, "I want you to join my firm as an intern before you go into the architecture, but you will work with me in the evenings."
Yes.
I looked at him, I don't know why. Then I asked to him, who is the biggest competitor of his?
Hmm.
He said, "There is another architect, both of them keep fighting, called Chittale and Son."
Hmm.
I don't know what got into me. I took my motorcycle, found out his address, went straight to his office. Then Bharat was one of the architects there. Then I walked in reception. He said, "You have an appointment?" I said, "I don't have an appointment. I've just come to meet." "You can't come and meet such an architect without appointment." But then luckily for me, he came. They all stood up. I said, "You know, in those days, people stand up." I was just sitting. "Who are you, young man?" Said, "I've come to see." I didn't know he was Sri Krishna Chittale. "I've come to meet Mr. Chittale." Come.
Hmm.
I thought he was taking me to meet him. Then I went out, he went and sat in the other chair. I said, "Sir, I've come to meet Sri Krishna Chittale." He just smiled at me. "What do you want?" "Where did you go?" I said, "I went to Prince Davis, then K.N. Srinivasan's office. People were talking about him. But I heard of your works, what you did in this place. I came." I said, "Thank you very much. When are you going to start?" I said, "Whenever Chittale says." He said, I'm telling you, I'm just. His secretary was laughing behind me. I should have said, from tomorrow you're coming. I spent 4 years there. He promoted me, tuck, 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 tuck. I wouldn't even write my exams. I said, you are better than any exams I've written in my life. Then the principal called me and said, what is happening? Why are you not writing? I said, what can you teach me what this man has taught me? Believe it or not, next day the vice chancellor called me. Jaisim, I understand. We've checked with you. We know who you are and why you started architecture because of your grandfather. Come outside, took me. This university building and were all designed by him. Wow, I didn't know. He gave me a certificate right there and said, from today you're a qualified architect. I went back to Chitalia's office. He said, Jaisim, tomorrow morning, this is the program you have to. Sir, from today, I'm an architect. So how did you get? I met the vice chancellor, Lakshmi, of his name. He gave me, how did you get it? I said, what? Somebody pulled me. I went there. You have some site. What are you going to do? See, at that time, just before that year, 1 year, my brother presented me a book on my birthday called It's About Architecture, Read.
Okay.
It was The Fountainhead.
Oh.
I could not buy Fountainhead. It was not available. I got Atlas Shrugged. I read Atlas. It was such a big, fat book. Somehow I read it. Believe it or not, I don't know what guts got. I wrote to the British American Embassy, wrote to her, got the address somehow and wrote. She wrote back along with her assistant, forget his name, that Madam is very thrilled that somebody from a country like India can understand architecture that she speaks about.
Wow.
Here is the compliment from her signed Ayn Rand. After that, she used to write a book, small, every month or 3 months, called The Objectivist, on the philosophy of life.
Yes.
First 1 year free. She said you have to pay because that's what I believe in. Somehow I got some dollars and whatever I had sent it to her. Believe it or not, even as long as she was alive and many people, it came. Then I went home. I don't know what happened during the process. The Tatas heard about this. Then the Shipping Corporation of India heard about it. You know Shipping Corporation.
Of course.
Suddenly, I go back to home. There are 3 phone calls waiting for you. He said, who are these? I said, these are super duper people. Then, anyway, I just called. They said, so tomorrow you have an appointment with the Taj people. Taj was coming up in a hotel. I went. You know how? Said, come and sit in the car. They took me to the beach. We are building a hotel here, but we don't like the way the other architect has done. I mean, you study it and tell.
Fair enough.
No, he didn't tell me at that time. You study this. I studied. I don't know what got into me. Sir, this is not the way you should put a hotel on the beach. The sea is that side. He's got rooms sitting this side. He looked at me. I'm very happy to meet you. That's precisely what we thought about it.
Wow.
From today, you are the architect of this project. I didn't know at that time that was being done by K. and Srinivasan. They brought in. That's why I didn't say anything there. Because he also wanted me to join his office. I said, please get a letter from the previous architect that he has nothing to do with the project. Then I'll take off. Next day, the letter came. When we finished it, it became a thing. At the same time, there were ships crossing. One of the captains or one of the owners came and said, you are doing this hotel because they used to. I said, yes, we are doing. Said Yusuf and Syed Ibrahim. I had a call. This is from the Shipping Corporation of India.
Yes.
We want you to come to Cochin, Kerala, and do our projects. The Cochin Stadium started, then Syed Ibrahim's thing started. It became, and then on top, they said, tomorrow you're flying to Muscat. I said, why? I said, no, just come. Sir, I don't have a passport. I don't have a clearance for all those things. Tomorrow, next day morning, passport was there, the certificate there, everything was there. The flight was ready. In those days, the flight would wait till you could. They dropped me there. I'm just telling you the history.
Yes.
When I dropped there, they said, you are only allowed 3 months stay, maximum. Otherwise, it's 1 month. Then they showed me the place. Believe it or not, the Sultan of Oman heard about it. I get his name, fantastic person. You have got an invitation from the Sultan. Nobody ever gets this invitation from him. For what? He heard that an architect called by the shipping corporation has come here. So I went. Believe it or not, what was supposed to be a 1-week visit ended up 4 years.
Wow.
They would do the passport. I said, at that time, I also told them, I can't stay here long because my wife is a banker and I have to go back after the first year. Believe it or not, in second year, first year after, she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm stuck. They made sure that I can't get out of this country, that I must do that project. She said, okay, can I? That man heard. Next day, they booked her on a flight and brought her.
They brought the
She said, my office is the State Bank of India. Had given me only 10 days holidays that I could come. Madam, what are you? Bank. Tomorrow, you come to the office. We went there. We are starting the Bank of Muscat and Oman. You're going to take over.
Wow.
Bank
What
of
is
Muscat
happening?
and Oman. Today, it's one of the richest banks in the world. I told her you should have continued. You would have made crores and billions. So, retiring and coming back. After 4 years, working and coming, I told him I need a break. Told the top man sitting there. He said, okay, we will give you maximum one. I said, I'll take my wife also. At the time, he said, why? I said, my child is just born from here. I want her to have the baby in India, not here.
Yeah.
He said, okay, on that condition. You know how the Muslims are in that condition. Came, took my passport, tore it, took my visa, tore it. I said, no, I can't go back. She said, what are you going to do? She was working. The bank was willing to take her.
Yes.
Then the very big company where she worked, they took her on. They said, your madam is one of the biggest companies. Because she knew finance. Even now she runs my finance. I don't know anything. What do you do? I said, what can I do? My mother smiled at me and said, looked at me, you've read this book, Fountainhead, this thing. My brother, I looked at her and said, to start the firm. So I took the garage, started my firm. They said, what will you call it? I said, Howard Rock is my hero. So Jaisim Fountainhead. They said, who will come to you as a client? Believe it or not, initially my brother, my sister came and said, I understand you have come back, design our houses. I designed both their houses. Somehow finished it first. All the film stars of Tamil Nadu loved it.
Amazing.
From Shivaji Ganeshan to Gemini Ganeshan to Tara. I said, you're all film industry. What will I do with film stars? I said, you build my house. And film stars, they'll get them any site, any land, anywhere they want at any price. I designed, they would believe it or not, none of them questioned even my sketch. We built this. C.R. Simha's house, all this were built. Then somebody from Bangalore came and said, you're originally a Bangalorean, why don't you come and visit Bangalore? Because we have seen some. So one night, after 4 years of that practice there, I came here. My brother all sincere, build my house, design my house. I never went back to Madras again. Although Madras had given me a lot of projects from Trivandrum to Coimbatore to Ooty. We did the Life and Light Academy in Ooty, the greatest photographic institute of Iqbal's. We did that, did in Kuno. Then I built one house after the other for myself. The first was called I Do, because her book is also I Do. Then the firm is Fountainhead. Then came the next one called Anthem. That's a prayer.
Yes.
But between these two was Ego, another project. All this. So I Do, Ego, and finally I said enough and called Anthem. But each of those houses, except one which I'm still holding, trying to hold back, got awards beyond awards because they were very different. I never applied for a single award. It became a phenomenon. The practice grew and grew. I said something wrong. I said, I'm stopping my practice.
Why?
I don't believe in a growth like this. Lot of these people joined. College people would come and sit in my office, won't go back to college. Colleges said, at least sir, come and give lectures in the college. I used to go give lectures. But the moment I gave lectures, half the fellows would come back to office and say, sir, we don't want to go to college. That's how the practice went on 5 decades. Then I said one day in one lecture that my wife and I was talking with doctors. We were doing many medical colleges. And we will build a village. At that time, Sri wasn't good. He had called me to do his ashram and his university. You know Sri. I didn't know they were Gurujis and all these things. Sai Baba called me, I did one thing. At the same time, Muslims would call me to build their mosques. The Christians would call me to build their churches. I said something wrong. Interpretation of Jaisim to Jaisim or Jaisim, I don't know. But Fountainhead, we did all this together.
Amazing.
When we finished this and I built that, I thought I'll stay quiet and make these youngsters look after the office. It became another huge area of adventure. Then literally every 6 months, I would take a ship or an aircraft with my wife and child, go to all parts of the world. That was one of the greatest ambitions of mine, to journey the world, from New Zealand to Arctic to Antarctica.
You've done it all. One quick advice to somebody like me. I'll ask you why, and I'll tell you why I'm asking you this question, sir. Your story sounds like a basic bridge which began with courage or wit, and then it turned into conviction as well, because every decision you took was with conviction, right? Moving to Muscat, coming back, leaving Madras, everything. It was a conviction-based decision. That is what lacks in today's youth, because we don't have that confidence to build something from scratch. What one advice would you give to the youth today pursuing architecture?
I'm glad you're asking this question, because I was with the Indo-Japanese organization day before yesterday. They thought I was a Japanese architect. I visited Tokyo and Kyoto long, so they said you're the special guest. I said, I like this place. They said, why? Except for me, all are women. They all have fun with it. The conviction is like what Ayn Rand says, your ability to believe in yourself. You must have the courage, because in that book, Fountainhead, Howard Rock leaves the school and then goes on his own adventure.
Yes.
That's what made me go on my own adventure.
Yeah.
Then I found, if you don't have the degree, you're not committed to the Council of Architecture or IIA or anything. That you're free, because I'm sketching something. It's not controlled by anybody else. I've always have. But then the council heard me, the IIA heard me. They said the only way to make him with part of us was give him a invited
A role
membership.
in the
And then when I went there, they made me chairman of IIA. Then they said, you're the council. I said, I don't. So you don't have to pay any fees or anything. You are now chairman. You are all these architects. Many of them even now pull my legs even here. So without you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the journey.
Absolutely. It's a brilliant journey as well.
And we had a practicing architects association. We have wide range of projects done all over the place. It's fun. When I used to love the fun, the fees automatically came or did not come. That's a different fees. When they paid good, if they didn't pay well, it's a different thing. But they all came, and it was, in fact, some of them paid more than what I asked for. Yes. But even today, till today, I only do projects which get into the philosophy of Ayn Rand's or Fountainhead. The moment it crosses, she knows what's happening. Some of the clients, we want it like that. I said, why do you call me? Copy on photographer, copy the building and send it
Yes, I know what you mean. Amazing. Sir, it has been an enlightening conversation with you, because I did not know that there was someone who was absolutely in love with the Fountainhead like I am. It's an honor to meet you. I'm very happy that I met you today. And I'll be very honest, if I get a chance to come back to Bangalore again, I would like to run to your office, book an appointment, sit down, maybe have a cup of tea and
I
leave.
hardly go to, they all run the office.
Is there an age?
I sit in my cottage and have fun looking at
Awesome.
what had 17 trees today have 20,000 trees and a terrain and a lake. But I don't put my name there. People come and say, only few people who know me, all the others take credit for it sometime.
Is there an age for retirement? There should not be, right?
You retire when you want to retire.
Absolutely. Awesome. I hope there is no age for retirement for the gentleman. And you've heard a story of courage and wit and the clear conviction he has. Such a pleasure, such a pleasure and such a delightful conversation. We'll have plenty more here at the Arc Build for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is The Code. I am Rishabh Aggarwal, your BuildMate friend. See you soon.